Back is back, and in talking with Jim McMahon, he said, I just want to get back to the bowl, meaning the Super Bowl, as he led the Bears in '85, almost a perfect season, and he was ruining the opportunity. He said, we should have been, meaning the Chicago Bears, the team of the '80s, not the 49ers.
But the 49ers beat him in a couple of big games, and he admitted, hey, they beat us one time in Chicago. This guy's different.
What an understatement of the season. From the 47, 3 straight possessions starting in Raider territory. Man outside to Williams, who is carried out of bounds with the momentum, a short gain of 4, and a little extra hitting after the bell. Mo Johnson and Winston Moss. McMahon, a courageous substitute for Cunningham last year. He told us that he had a fractured right elbow and tendon torn away. In fact, there's a cadaver ligament in there to allow him to continue this year. And he said I'd just be in so much pain all week long, and then he would take a certain shot on Sunday morning, and he'd go out and perform. And Eagles almost made it to the playoffs, finished 7-1. Second down, incomplete, intended for the tight end, Maurice Johnson, who played his college ball here in the city at Temple. Aaron Wallace on the coverage.
Eagles not doing much here offensively. This is Howie Long. He's untouched. They're trying to trick Howie Long. Howie Long is too much of a veteran. He's seen too many rollouts to buy that fact. Stays right there to get in Jim McMahon's face. You know, the one comment I got to make about Jim McMahon is with the headbands he wore in Chicago, the funny sunglasses, the strange comments, really hid a spectacular performance for years for the Chicago Bears. Also hid the fact that he's one of the game's great competitors.
He's his own distraction. He said, I do that to amuse myself. He goes on top this time, and Barnett with a diving try at the 5-yard line. So 4th down, and the punting team comes on. So McMahon unable to kickstart this slumbering Eagle offense.
This Barnett running the pattern. The initial move at the line of scrimmage, when you've got bump and run of the corners are up there pressing, he beats Lionel Washington like a drum. But I'm telling you, about this point, the defense of Philadelphia could sue the offense for non-support, and they've got evidence. Strong evidence.
Eagles, and it's Tim Brown, the fair catch at the 11-yard line. And the pattern of this first quarter is the Eagles with great field position opportunity in the Raider half of the field, and Los Angeles starting very deep near its own goal line. A reminder, next Saturday, don't miss NBA Inside Stuff, the entertainment show of the NBA, hosted by our friends Ahmad Rashad and Willow Bay. Inside Stuff takes to the streets. It's a special coverage of the Ultimate Playground 3-on-3 tournament. Don't miss the crowning of the Hoop It Up champion. Competition hits its final hour. It's all Saturday morning on NBC. Check your local listings. The NBA season underway. That's the Raiders start. They got a first down and then the interception, and then 3 and out the last 2. Dickerson. A little delay, and Dickerson slams out for about 10 yards before Wes Hopkins can trip him up.
Nice lead block right up in front of him, too. Steve Smith, number 35, for years considered one of the great lead blockers. Look at that hit on Evans. Drives him right out of there. This Philadelphia Eagle up front 4. They consume people, allow the linebackers to make the tackles. And when Smith can just park Byron Evans 5 yards deep, yeah, you're going to gain yards.
10 yards, in fact, for a first down. Contact before the snap. Golick jumping into Steve Wisniewski. Was he drawn off?
He's the Golick playing today, which has been historically not the case. Bob has done most of the playing.
And Mike, he said, you have the shorter hair because I want to be Dad's favorite son. They both have a tremendous sense of humor, and of course, Mike following Bob to Notre Dame and then to the NFL. Both men early in their pro careers were kind of cast aside. Bob by the Patriots and Mike by Houston, and then became a eventual starters, and for Bob, at least a Pro Bowler. Dickerson across the 30 on 1st and 5, as the penalty was against Mike Golick, and it'll be 2nd and 2. And there's going back a few years, Bob and baby Mike. Of course, Mike said he never was a baby. He was born on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of September.
Those were his formative years, though, certainly on all fours. Made him used to be a nose tackle, you know. But I asked him, Mike, Dad's here. Who do they root for? And their response is, he roots for the defense, not for the team.
And it's painful for Mike to watch Bob not playing. And Bob, you can see almost a hurt in his face as Dickerson flying a little hurt on that charge. Now that had a little spice to the Dickerson effort, and Miano comes out from the safety spot to make the tackle, but it's 1st down Raiders.
Again, you saw the lead block by Smith, but he abandons him, and free safety Rich Miano sticks his helmet right in there. That's the spot played by Andre Waters. Whoever plays that spot has got to be a big hitter in this Bud Carson defense.
This series beginning at the 12-yard line, a couple of 1st downs as Dickerson has been the workhorse. Minute and a half remaining in the opening quarter. Eagles lead 3-0. Incomplete. Good coverage by Eric Allen.
Oh, what recovery speed. Goodness. It was not thrown with great steam on it. You can see Allen looking in the backfield. When he stops, he reads the set. Now watch the closure. Actually, Willie Gault should have had that one too. I'd change gloves if I were Willie right now.
They love the man cover talent of Eric Allen, who played at Arizona State. San Diego native. Marinovich now 1 for 5 for 5 yards and 1 interception. Not his fault. This is where the Eagles like to tee off. Play action. Whoa! Wes Hopkins! That was up there as a gift. Hopkins had a better chance of catching it than did Steve Smith.
Another floater. He had pressure in his face. Watch the left side of the screen. You see the pressure? The rollout. Clyde Simmons right there. It floats, and Wes Hopkins, the other safety on this team, again gives the Philadelphia Eagles unbelievable field position. That ball is tipped by Clyde Simmons. You can't go into a game as a head coach and expect to have field position like Philadelphia is getting here. Where's Herschel Walker? Use him now. Get the ball in the end zone.
That's right. Walker hasn't had his number called yet. Hopkins' 3rd interception gives him 29 in his career. He's close to becoming the all-time pass theft in Philadelphia history. Bill Bradley had 34. And now Walker, hearing the advice from the stands, the Eagles go to the former Heisman winner and Winston Moss. And Willie Broughton make the tackle. Marinovich 1 for 6, 2 interceptions, and well, his passes, even at best, have very little on them. He's not known for arm strength. They feel for his years he has a lot of savvy and moxie, and he had told us yesterday he's still learning. He should be a senior at Southern California. This could be his senior year. McMahon, a little fake, and then a handoff to Myers, and he was slowed up from behind by Willie Broughton, and then Lionel Washington finished the job, number 48.
That's as close to the Statue of Liberty play that the 90s will allow. You saw McMahon take the ball up like a throw and then hand it in front to Myers. Again, going with the trick stuff.
Anthony Smith, who leads the Raiders with 9 sacks, now comes in. Smith, who works with Los Angeles youth. He doesn't like to talk about it, but is very generous in his time helping young people. And the final second ticks off, and there's the gun. End of the first quarter. A quarter of opportunity, but only 3 points for Philadelphia. Randall Cunningham, a star in this league, and they say I'm the man that's going to lead them to the Super Bowl. Why am I sitting where I am? And he said, they told us that he wants to go back to 90 when it was a more free-floating offense. He had more liberty in ad-libbing plays. And last year they were stricter with the offense because he was hurt. They designed it for McMahon and others, and now they're still using that offense. And obviously he's not comfortable in it, and he's really uncomfortable today. Third down as we open the second quarter. McMahon on the scramble, borrowing a page from Cunningham. I believe he'll be short of the first down. Remember, on the slide, it's where the ball is when you go down, not where your waist is, and usually the ball is a couple of feet back of the slide.
Looks like Richie Kotite is going to go for it. And I was struck by Randall Cunningham was sitting on the bench there when his team is facing a critical 3rd and 7. He's up on the sideline now, but the more that he's involved in what's going out there on the field, the better I think his teammates will feel about it.
Leading 3-0. It is 4th and 1. So they bring in an extra tight end, Pat Beach. And now we'll call timeout. Now McMahon wants to come over and talk it over with Rich Kotite, a fighter, a boxer at the University of Miami. 50-year-old Rich Kotite forsaking the field goal for 4th and 1 shot at Moore, leading only 3-0 early in the second quarter. Ball at the 21 of Los Angeles.
It's easy for Rich Kotite to do. With the defense that he has, you can go for it on 4th down. I mean, their defense is, on most weekends, not going to give that opponent many yards. Great luxury for Rich Kotite.
Raiders bolster their bulk, looking for something short. Bob Golick does come in this short yardage defense. Keith Sherman replaces Byers. It's Walker and Sherman. And Sherman for the first down at the 19. Dave Waymer, veteran from the secondary, makes the tackle, and Kotite has 4 more downs.
Not a bad lead block by Herschel Walker, left-hand side of the screen, number 34. Good push up front. Boy, that's a helmet right in the chest of Winston Moss that really gave Heath Sherman just the yardage he needed for the first down to keep the drive alive.
The Eagles' second first down. The Raiders have 3. Sherman may have lost a yard. Howie Long. And one of the theories around the league, and the Eagles talked about it too, is that Long is such a good man off the ball, so quick, and such a tough pass rusher, that the best answer is to run at Howie. But that doesn't always produce results either.
He has unbelievable strength, has always had great strength. You watch when they try to block him here, he just stands up that right guard and is there to make the tackle. Fundamentally, this guy may be, out of his stance, the best who has ever played the game.
Second down for McMahon. Oh, all day, someone's got to be open. Lionel Washington able to break up the attempt. Fred Barnett, oh, so close again to a touchdown.
I'm shocked at how much time he had. I mean, normally the Raiders rush very well, but here's the guy who ends up getting the football down in the end zone at the bottom of the screen.
Telestrator not cooperating there.
But watch at the bottom of the screen. McMahon's looking. He was going to go to the swing, and then finally, all the way across the field, incomplete.
3rd and 11. McMahon, a good job of dancing away from pressure, and then has to eat it at the 20-yard line as Greg Townsend makes the tackle. Will that be a sack? Yes, it will, and it'll be Townsend's first sack of the year. Here's a man with 13 last year who year after year has led the Raiders in sacks, 95 in 9 years, and finally gets number 1 this season.
Dick, the Raiders' coverage can't be that good. I mean, McMahon is finding no one open.
By the way, in the Miami lead, you saw Keith Jackson, a touchdown pass from Marino. Fake! Eagles! Incomplete! Intended for an offensive lineman, Brian Baldinger, who was an eligible receiver. A flag is down. Personal foul ball against the Raiders. Oh my. So Art Shell's Raiders, defensively, a bright spot for the men in the silver and black. But after stopping the Eagles, a personal foul will carry with it an automatic first down.
No.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 56. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
That's Andre Bruce, and it's because it's a shot to the head. So the Eagles certainly have helped the Raiders here by extending the drive, giving them a first down. And on the Eagles sideline, no offense, zero offense. Where is Herschel Walker?
Yeah, they're not. That does not carrying an automatic first down. At least as yet, they still have fourth down up on the yardstick, but the personal foul should be automatic.
Absolutely. They're going to change the down marker.
Yeah, the penalty yardage on 4th and 11 would be 15, or half the distance in this case.
But isn't that something? They have to resort to a fake field goal. We're seeing a lot of junk here by the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, at some point, the head coach has to display confidence in his offense. Hammer that line of scrimmage.
On the last play, unnecessary roughness, number 56. Previous spot was the 20-yard line. Half the distance to the goal puts it at the 10. First down.
So the full 10 yards to go for the touchdown. The Eagles have started roaring out of the gate and then just having trouble collecting any points here the last 4 games. That's why McMahon's in there. Leading 3-0. Got a second chance. Herschel Walker powers for 3 or 4. Walker leading the Eagles and the 6th leading rusher in the National Football League with 619 yards starting today, plus 18 catches.
I think what the Eagles have done with Herschel Walker is limit where he's going to run. Don't bounce him to the outside. Keep him straight ahead. And at 230 pounds, still a force to bring down.
Heisman winner the year after Marcus Allen won that high honor. You'll see that on NBC again this year. 2nd and 6. Walker. Look at him plow his way to the 1-yard line on second effort. That's why it made you curious about Trumpy that they weren't calling Walker's plays more often.
And Dick, there's so much to the psychology of the game of football where you can turn your offensive line loose and hammer this defensive line. It gives them confidence. It makes them feel like, hey, we can do something. When you run the junk and try to go to the outside, your offensive line never gets a chance to leave an impression on that defense.
Walker at 225 ran right through Aaron Wallace's attempt, and Wallace is 15 pounds heavier at the 5-yard line. Takes it to the 1. 10th play of the drive, helped out by the personal foul on the 4th down fake punt. Walker again, touchdown.
Well, I just mentioned they're running Herschel Walker tackle to tackle. That's in the 8th spot. That's outside the tight end.
So the penalty by Andre Bruce cost Art Shell's team 6 and probably 7 points. It'll look like just 10 yards in the scorebook, but it counts 7 for the Eagles, and they now lead 10-0.
Going to be coming right at you. Watch 33, Eddie Anderson appear. Watch where he goes. Down to the ankles of Herschel Walker. Walker runs right through the tackle.
NFL on NBC is brought to you by Pontiac and your nearby Pontiac dealers. We are driving excitement. By Delta Airlines. At Delta, we love to fly, and it shows. By Schick Tracer. It traces every curve on your face. And by cold-filtered Keystone, Keystone Light, and Keystone Dry. Bottled beer taste in a can. Wouldn't that be great?
The Eagles, after the interception by Hopkins, go 31 yards. It took him 10 plays plus a 10-yard penalty. But Walker finally scores, and it's 10-0. Can't fault the Raider defense. You can fault Bruce with a penalty. Brusek's kick high to Alexander Wright. The Eagles never let him get to full speed, and that's part of the design. The tackle made by Mike Flores at the 22-yard line. A reminder, the second half of NBC's doubleheader. Most of you will see the 6-2 Steelers against the 6-2 Buffalo Bills. The Steelers tied with the Eagles, least points allowed this year. The Bills, the top scoring AFC team. Other than you will see San Diego and Kansas City, or the Jets and Broncos. The Raiders looking for a win today that'll bring them back into the flow of AFC West that trying to sort out the team to beat. Tim Brown from Marinovich, tackled after a gain of 13 by John Booty, the former Jet.
If there is an Achilles heel of this Philadelphia Eagles defense, it is John Booty. Not that he's a bad player, but he doesn't come close to the guy who was playing there last year, Ben Smith. This is a very aggressive defense. Booty gave Tim Brown too much yardage there, too much of a cushion. Teams try to find where Booty is, and that's the receiver that gets the ball against Philadelphia.
Brown out to the right against Booty on first down. To the other side. Oh, just did get it to Alexander Wright, as diving in front of the play. It appeared to be Eric Allen, and a linebacker came shooting in there as well. Maybe it was William Thomas that had designs on an intercept. Let's check it.
He's not tricking him. You see Thomas jump up, almost get it. Eric Allen does make the tackle. It's a nice 6 or 8 yard gain. I think what they're doing here is trying to go to the 5-step drop for Marinovich, keep the pass rush off of him, which is probably very sound on Archell's part.
10-0 Eagles, although both defenses have basically smothered the opponent's tries. 2nd and 4. Marinovich, and a flag goes down. Booty pushing on Tim Brown. Brown did not have access to the root of the ball. Booty had him pushed away.
Did you think that ball was catchable?
Well, that's
Pass interference. Number 42 in the defense. First down at the spot.
that is another issue.
Yeah, Dick, I actually think the Raiders are very lucky here, because as you see Booty force Tim Brown to the outside, well, there certainly is contact. There's no question about that.
And Brown acted out the roll well, and it's worth 11 yards to the Raiders, and the first time they've been in Eagle territory at the 46. Again, Brown and Booty matched up, top of your screen. Play action. Marinovich down the middle. Oh, it's intercepted by Hopkins again. He knew he could have caught that one. Alexander Wright was the closest Raider.
Crossing pattern run by Alexander Wright. Young man with great speed, but Marinovich has to throw this over a defender. You see Byron Evans, 56, just gets in his way. Hopkins almost comes up with his second of the first half here today against Mr. Marinovich.
And the third against Marinovich. He was 3 for 9, as you can see. Green Bay leading the Giants. That's who the Eagles will play next week in Wisconsin. Marinovich going long for Brown. Intercepted by Booty at the 5-yard line. 3 picks by the Eagles. Marinovich does not look good this first half.
No, and Dick, there's no reason for him to throw this other than to just make a point. Sometimes the Raiders throw the ball deep for that, what's referred to as vertical stretch. Threaten them with speed. But you can see the cornerback Booty is back here along with the safety. And the ball eventually does come down, and it's zone coverage. Wes Hopkins is back there. A very poor choice by Todd Marinovich. Look at the coverage. You can't just throw for impression. It doesn't work in this game anymore.
Fairness to Marinovich, the first interception really was a ball should have been caught by Willie Gault, went off his hands to the Eagles, but the next two were right to Philadelphia, and there have been a couple others that were almost intercepted. McMahon takes over and screens territory deep in his own end at the 5. Walker for 3 on first down. And the way that tackle was made, you've got to think Ronnie Lott, number 42, was in there somewhere. I didn't see a number, but it just sounded like, oh, there he is.
He does approach the line of scrimmage with what we would refer to as a blur.
He is the most fascinating interview I think we've had all year. We talked to a lot of players. He is so cerebral, articulate. This man has head coach prime. I asked him, well, would you like to coach? I think he could be a terrific head coach. And certainly we need more black head coaches in the NFL.
He's almost coaching some of these young guys on the Raiders now, Dick.
Walker trying to find room. There is none. Ricky Ellison makes the stop, and as expected, these two teams very physical. This won't be the last time. A little extra action after the whistle. Heller and Maurice Johnson of the Eagles defending their rights. Lott, he brings more than example of play, and I think it's the quality of the man and this veteran that he doesn't just perform by example.
Oh, you're absolutely correct, and we've had the Raiders several times this season, and every young guy on this Raider team you talk to, you say, we have a problem. Yeah, you go to Ronnie Lott. He's counseled Marinovich. He's counseled Nick Bell. He's counseled this guy. He's counseled that guy.
And he also not just talks to him, but in practice says, hey, you're not running hard enough.
Run harder.
And yells at his teammates.
You can't have enough guys like that on your football team. I mean, what they do is so mystical and so magical, but it's so simple.
He said, I'm going to be like Jack Reynolds. They're going to carry me out of this game kicking and screaming. I'm going to enjoy every last hit. 3rd down, 6. Shotgun McMahon. Sikahema incomplete. And the Eagles will have to punt.
Well, makes you wonder, where is Randall Cunningham? They asked Richie Kotite, what if Jim McMahon has a great game? They didn't ask, what if Jim McMahon has a poor first half?
Well, he told Cunningham to be ready, and the promise has been there, and you heard on NFL Live, Cunningham said, but Cunningham, the promise I'd play in the 4th quarter of Dallas. Yeah. And it didn't happen, so now I wonder if I really will start at Green Bay next week. Eagles very high. Tim Brown takes a chance. He knew 2 Eagles were on top of him, Britt Hager and William Thomas. Time up. Back at Veterans Stadium, and the week of the quarterback. New quarterback, Todd Marinovich, is benched by Art Shell. Here's Jay Schrader. He hasn't started since the 2nd game of the season when he threw for 380 yards against Cincinnati. Best ever by a Raider quarterback on the road, and was benched. But Marinovich didn't have it, so the veteran Schrader, and he comes out throwing strikes, a bullet to Tim Brown, and a 1st down at the 36. The other thing, Schrader inherited the best Raider field position, starting a series in the half by some 28 yards.
That definitely helps from behind the defense. You mentioned it. It's the zip on the football. Schrader with a very strong arm. Again, it's Tim Brown on 42, John Booty. Now the defense is going to have to roll to Booty to protect him. I suppose it's sunk in yet that young Todd is not on the field for our surfer.
Well, he knew he wasn't playing well, and that seemed apparent to everyone. Schrader trying to rally the Raiders, and Dickerson caught for a loss in the backfield, but able to break free from rookie Tommy Jeter, 3rd-round pick from Texas, and picks up some yardage. Jay Schrader, and he knows if anyone could identify with Cunningham and what he went through this week at Schrader. He's been through that at Washington and now with the Raiders.
And we had the game after he was benched out in Los Angeles, and he said, hey, what can I do? I had my best game as a Los Angeles Raider. They put me on the bench. I mean, what more can I do? We lost. The quarterback has got to help his team win.
2nd and 8. Schrader slips, but then able to slip a tackle, but goes out of bounds on the scramble inside the 30. It'll be short of the 1st down. Gain of 6. William Thomas running him out.
Schrader is a guy who, when he was acquired from the Washington Redskins, this kid has a great winning percentage as a starter and as a quarterback in the NFL. When the when the Los Angeles Raiders acquired him, they thought he's the guy. But this guy has not played a whole bunch of football in his life. I mean, he's a former baseball player.
Yeah, 4 years out of UCLA. He was in the Toronto Blue Jay organization. He thought he might be celebrating a World Series. He was a teammate of Jimmy Key and Pat Ford and some of those Blue Jays. 3rd and 3, and big hole for Marcus Allen. And the all-time Raider rusher, Marcus Allen, has a first down inside the Eagle 10. 20 yards on the play.
How can you keep this guy out of the lineup? There is not as much blocking available as should result in 20 yards, but he can still make the moves. I asked him before the game, I said, what are they doing to you? And he said, they're torturing me. And I said, what does it tell you? And he says, it tells me that I won't be here next year, but I know I can still play.
Well, he was hoping that he'd be traded earlier this year. The Raiders said no one really wanted to pick up his big contract, but Marcus told me that he heard otherwise, that there were some teams that wanted him, but Raiders elected to keep him. To the 5-yard line goes Steve Smith. So what an interesting turn here. Schrader comes in for Marinovich, the veteran quarterback for the younger quarterback, and then Marcus Allen, a man basically in his feelings has been benched because he's not going to be used except in special situations, but then he contributes every time he's allowed the opportunity. So
when you mention special situations, I mean, you got to recognize his talent. He has 20-yard runs, 15-yard catches, touchdowns from 5 or 6 yards, great blocks. Get him in the game.
He's on the sidelines on 2nd and goal. Touchdown, Andrew Glover. No, it was out of bounds. He caught it, but didn't have both feet in.
Good coverage by Philadelphia. Initial receiver, the primary one, was Steve Smith. Then as Schrader rolls to tight end, Glover does an excellent job. 1 foot down. Didn't drag the feet. Got to drag the feet. Former basketball player. Part of learning the game is where that sideline exists without looking at it. But he did the good thing is that when the quarterback runs right, you run right with him so he can hit you on the move.
But that one little scramble by Schrader told the big difference between the veteran and Marinovich, the youngster, because Schrader had a couple of chances to throw into coverage and didn't. Timeout going to be called by Los Angeles. So with 3rd and goal at the 5-yard line, we take a break. 10-0 Eagles. 5 minutes to go in the half.
Pittsburgh Steelers. With Barry Foster, the AFC's top rusher, leading the way. These division leaders are off to their best start in nearly a decade. The Buffalo Bills. Jim Kelly and one of the NFL's best offenses are shooting for the playoffs again. Get ready for this battle in Buffalo next.
Hall of Famer Art Shell, so many times in goal-to-goal situations. It was his block along with Upshaw on the left side that led to a Raiders score. Marcus Allen is the long running back. He has 97 career touchdowns. 3rd and goal. Schrader. Incomplete to Alexander Wright. Tough chance. Schrader under some pressure as Clyde Simmons was breezing through. So the field goal unit comes on.
Tom Walsh, the Raiders offensive coordinator, told us last night, the first thing you have to do when you play a team like the Philadelphia Eagles is think protection. And that time, Marcus Allen was in there for protection. There's Tom Walsh standing up with a headset on. Mike White down in front of him. He's the quarterback coach.
23-yard attempt by Jeff Jager, who had a tremendous year last year. Missed only 5 of 34, but this year 10 of 18, make it 11 of 19, and the Raiders have scored. So the insertion of Schrader into the lineup brings immediate results. Not what Art Shell had hoped for, the full 7, but the Raiders back in the game with 4:56 to go in the half.
And that's a veteran. Schrader goes right to the kid, Todd Marinovich. Said, hey, you know, we got better field position. Thanks for your support. Marcus Allen with a 20-yard run. Nice completion to Tim Brown. And a little life in the Los Angeles Raiders offense here. But the same pattern is emerging for the Philadelphia Eagles. Defense on the field a lot. missed opportunities by the offense. And with all of the great field position by Philadelphia, they only lead by 3.
Let me ask you. Now, I'm going to make you the Eagles head coach for about 2 seconds, and that'll please Philadelphia fans. Would you have benched Cunningham?
Yes, I would have. This was not just last week's performance. Over the last 2 or 3 weeks, his numbers had gone down. It was very obvious. And one of the biggest secrets on a football team is who's doing well and who's not. The secret is out amongst his teammates. They were willing to tell us publicly that Randall Cunningham was not as dedicated to the game plan, to watching film, as Jim McMahon was. That's the worst secret, the closest held secret that an NFL football team can have. So Rich Kotak made absolutely the only choice he could make.
It's a wake-up call for Cunningham.
Absolutely.
Maybe a real blessing for him. Sikahema, the former Cardinal, born in Tonga, always a great return man. What an effort, and he's out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Seven-year veteran Sikahema from BYU. He just is so tough to bring down. Former Golden Glove champion, the 13-year-old.
Well, again now, Philadelphia with outstanding field position. Boy, is this a repeat performance? Sikahema contributing any way he can.
40-yard return. They picked him up on Plan B from Green Bay after his 5 years with the Cardinals. To Walker. Howie Long pressuring. And Heath Sherman gets the little checkoff pass in the flat to the 48 of the Raiders.
Now where's Keith Byers? This is a nice little play action fake. It looked like the initial receiver was going to be Barnett. He's down the field on the right. You see him open, but when McMahon is flushed, he's got to find the outlet receiver. Excellent job done by that running back. There's Jay Schrader on the sideline celebrating that 3 points. Todd Marinovich in front. Oh, man. Not the way I hoped it'd start.
He's not the first quarterback the field punished against this Eagle team. Not a very good fake. Almost a broken play. No. It goes to Calvin Williams, and he has a first down. At the Raider 42. That didn't look very smooth, did it?
Sure didn't. Randall Cunningham on the sideline. And frankly, I'm not sure if that's the way. Let's see if we can pick it up. From behind the offense, we should be able to tell. No, it's a play-action fake, but again, Howie Long is just eating up Anton Davis, 78. And he's blowing up the initial part of the play to the point where the quarterback can't set up, which is what Randall Cunningham told us. I got no chance to set up.
He's like one of those kitchen little gadgets, of dicers. I mean, he just mixes everything up, cuts it all up, and hard to be smooth when that guy's breathing down your neck. Now it's Herschel Walker right at Howie Long. Long, basically, for you longtime fans of the Raiders, you usually saw Howie Long out on that left end, defensive end position. In the what's happened now, he's moved inside. He's taken Golic's spot, basically.
I told you earlier, fundamentally one of the soundest defensive ends to have ever played the game. What Howie has always done, and I think Earl Liggett taught him this, the defensive line coach, he has his knees, hips, and shoulders in line. So he's one of the most powerful guys in the first step or step and a half on the line, off the line, that the NFL has ever seen. Look at that beautiful stance.
And so lightning quick off the ball. The catch by Fred Barnett, who leads the Eagles coming in with 36. Lionel Washington the tackle, first down.
Good time for Jim McMahon to throw. It's the most important thing. Barnett with bump and run coverage. Lionel Washington, little square in, ball's on the way, almost unstoppable. And again, back to Howie Long. Now, I told you his stance. Look at the power he produces. Throws Eric Floyd, 300 pounds, literally out of his way.
And his teammate Wallace also. 10-3 Eagles. First down, Philadelphia at the 27 of the Raiders. Reverse. Calvin Williams, the Raiders were waiting for that one. They'd seen that before. He's tackled way back at the 41-yard line by Andre Bruce. 14-yard loss as we come to the 2-minute timeout. Back in Philadelphia, Dick Enberg with Bob Trumpy, inviting you to stay tuned. Halftime, the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report with Messrs. Costas, Simpson, and Coach Rand. This is his kind of game. 69 total yards for the Eagles, and there's Randall Cunningham. And one of the comments I said, you know, when troubled times, you call friends. Whom did you call this past week? He said, I called Buddy Ryan several times. His line was either busy or he wasn't home. So, Buddy, next time pick it up. Randall needs to talk to you. He still has great affection for the former coach of the Eagles.
As do most Philadelphia Eagle players.
That last reverse cost Eagles 15 yards officially. So 2nd and 25 for McMahon, who goes long. Open is Barnett for a touchdown.
Should have never happened.
But what a magnificent throw by McMahon on the money to Fred Barnett for his 5th touchdown reception of the season.
And Cunningham is the first one to greet fellow quarterback Jim McMahon on the sideline. Touch of class, Randall.
69 yards total offense in the half, and they get 42 on that play. A big Eagle touchdown with 1:53 left in the half. Ruzek to try the point. (17-3) Philadelphia as Jim McMahon applauding the rest of his linemen who come off. A flag down on the extra point. Tom White will clarify. Meanwhile, you couldn't find two quarterbacks that are any more different.
There is no infraction on the play. He was blocked into the kicker. No infraction. Extra point is good.
I think we'll get back to your comment, but look, the absence of Keith Jackson forces this kind of coverage by the Raiders. Corners up, safeties out. The linebackers cover the inside guys, but with no Keith Jackson, there's really no threat down the middle. But still, Eddie Anderson, number 33, you'll see him deep here, allows the receiver to get by him. He bites on the little in move. McMahon stays with the play and makes the completion. You design this defense, Dick, for one reason, to shut down the outside receivers deep. Now, that's not the cornerback's fault, but Eddie Anderson bit on the move. McMahon stays with the play.
That just explain how really difficult this game, and this is the artistry. The timing had to be immaculate. The fake was perfect, and you beat a man by a step and you get 7 points.
Yeah, this is also, I think, the experience of a Jim McMahon. Hanging with the play, having great confidence in his receiver, looking at the safety, not at the corner, keeping him off and having him deep and making the completion.
And look who come to McMahon. Those are his friends, not the wide receivers, not the so-called skill players. McMahon drives a team at quarterback with the spirit of an offensive lineman. And when you ask about his best friends with the Bears, he starts rattling off his offensive line. Walter Payton too, but it's the
Van Horn, Hilgenberg. He's the dominoes. He's a dominoes champion of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, outside the NFL, that means nothing. But inside the NFL, I mean, that speaks volumes. Look at the offensive lineman. What's Sikahema doing there? Get him out of there. Sikahema doesn't belong.
He plays like one.
He's trying to fit in.
Randall Cunningham, his thoughts seem elsewhere. 17-3, 1:53 left in that. Very short kick. McCallum almost a fair catch that one. Stays on his feet and brings it out to the 40-yard line. And with plenty of time, Jay Schrader brings his offense back on the field. And next Saturday, boy, they must be in a pleasant mood at Notre Dame. Well, first of all, let's talk about Hoop It Up next Saturday. That'll follow Notre Dame football. It's the world's largest basketball tournament and spotlights the nation's best street players, challenging Dr. J's team of greats, Gervin and Cooper and Calvin Murphy and Walter Davis on the court of dreams.
Those street legends.
And
oh, they're dangerous in basketball.
That's a double bill next Saturday following Notre Dame and Penn State. Oh, Notre Dame, I can't believe. I thought Boston College would give them a real go. Marcus Allen greeted with a flag down. Byron Evans making the stop.
What did Byron Evans tell us? He said when Marcus Allen was a rookie, he toasted me up. Toasted me up, translated means, and he beat me like a drum. And Marcus Allen is even laughing. Byron Evans probably referring back to his rookie year when Marcus Allen made him look bad. That was a picture-perfect tackle.
Illegal formation. Not on the line of scrimmage. 5 yards previous spot. Still first down.
Ball marked back to the 35-yard line. You're just joining us and somehow missed the controversy here in Philadelphia. It's Randall Cunningham sitting down for a week and McMahon running in the show, and then Todd Marinovich benched by Art Shell today. Marinovich intercepted 3 times in the first half, and veteran Jay Schroeder dumping it off to Marcus Allen. Oh, what a move by Allen on Eric Allen. Not related, although both grew up in San Diego, California. 14 yards on the play.
Actually, very heady move by Jay Schroeder. Avoiding the rush from around the outside, steps up, still makes the completion.
Just shy of the first down. It was 1st and 15, now 2nd and a short 2. Raiders with 2 timeouts left and 1:32 to go. Officially 2nd and 1, closer to 2nd and 2. Hit by Evans. Right at the 50-yard line. They may have to measure on this one.
Well, the insertion of Schrader, all things considered, has been a very timely move by Art Shell. Terry Robisky on the sideline there with Art Shell signaling in the plays. They're called by Tom Walsh upstairs. Raiders performed very admirably here in this first half.
First down, clock running. Schrader hit by Simmons and then finished off by Reggie White.
Well, you don't want to be the center of that sandwich. They can break quarterbacks in pieces between those two guys.
Reggie White, who has more sacks than games played, the only one in the NFL.
Reggie McElroy man-on-man with Reggie White. That is a mismatch. He even tried to get Todd Pete 64 out there. He beats them both.
40 seconds left. Raiders don't spend a timeout. 2nd and long. Marcus Allen staying in the block. That's Tim Brown. And he's brought down with a flag down. That's a first down. Booty finally gets Tim Brown to the turf. And we'll see if this is a face mask. Clock stopped, as you saw. 30 seconds left in the half. 17-3 Philadelphia. The ball at the 37 if it counts.
Well, it certainly didn't take him long to find it. There was a face mask penalty there. But it's coming back. It looks like it's against the Raiders, Dick.
Well, apparently they did not see the face mask, but did catch one of the Raiders with a foul. And mark it back. Tom White all
Offensive pass interference. Number 88 offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. Still 2nd down.
Ethan Horton, the tight end, trying to pick off a defender to free up Brown, apparently.
Well, that has become so common in the game today. The tight end releasing off the line of scrimmage. There you see 88. Actually, he hits John Booty on the shoulder. That's very questionable, but the NFL officials have called that rather closely this year.
That was pretty big. Marcus Allen, and now the Raiders with the penalties being pushed back, and apparently want to just run out the clock. Seth Joyner makes that tackle. Joyner playing with a brace on a injured left knee. Highly regarded talent out of University of Texas El Paso, and Pro Bowler last year.
one of the captains, he won't even go out and shake the other team's hand. He gets nasty on game day.
We saw him earlier with a number of his fallen friend Jerome Brown shaved in the back of his head. The end of the first half. Art Shell decision-making, as does his counterpart Rich Kotite. The Eagles by 2 touchdowns. Look at the statistics in just a moment, the first half, and I think they'll reveal, obviously, that the defense is dominated. The score is a bit misleading.
Yeah, the 3 turnovers by the Los Angeles Raiders, the great field position by the Philadelphia Eagles have really produced a 17-3 score. Actually, the Eagles should be ahead by a lot more. Raiders have struggled except for the one drive with Jace Rader at quarterback. The penalty certainly helped the Philadelphia Eagles to get the ball in the end zone, but the sum total of the turnovers in the field position have produced this kind of score, Dick.
Jager kicks it off and hits it hard and high. Sikahema will take it out. Always a threat, and he is drilled at the 24-yard line. Tackled by Napoleon McCallum, and let's look at the Keystone Coors halftime statistics. As you see, 21 yards rushing for a team that's averaging 142 a game through the first 8. And the total yards almost even. And the 3 turnovers, as Buddy Ryan pointed out at halftime. 17-3 doesn't sound very good if you're a Raider fan, but that's not bad considering all the opportunity.
And the field position, they are very fortunate to be just down by 14.
They start out by giving to Keith Byers, who was the quiet man in the first half and did not play much. Ricky Ellison, who loves to fill the hole from that middle linebacker position, makes the stop for the Raiders.
Dick, the point I think I would have to make about the Philadelphia Eagles offense in the first half, where you see the field position and what a part it's played in the game, is that the Eagles have really gone with a lot of junk. Motion and reverses and fake reverses and fake draws. All of that plays into the comments made by Randall Cunningham. That's Zeke Bratkowski on the sideline. This is a more complicated offense. I want to go back to the one I ran 2 years ago.
Play action. And McMahon going long. Caught and then intercepted by Eddie Anderson. Out of the hands of Calvin Williams, our friend Barnett. And then Anderson, as they came to the turf, stole it away. So the Raiders have their first turnover. Barnett with the catch for a moment, and then watch 33 Anderson.
He does make the catch. And then it bounces off his helmet, and Eddie Anderson uses Barnett as kind of a cushion and puts it right back in his chest, and the Raiders have the football.
Long throw by McMahon serves almost as a punt, but the Raiders pleased to have it at the 35 so quickly here in the second half. McMahon made a good throw.
Yes, he did. Although, again, double coverage. Safety and corner back there. Tough to make those completions, but they did score a touchdown on that coverage.
Fake to Dickerson. Schrader starts the second half and throws one up for grabs. Oh, my. Eric Allen makes his second interception today. And then hit from behind by Alexander Wright at the 45 of the Raiders. Ethan Horton, the intended receiver, but that ball just floated up there. Horton had no chance.
Not even close, Dick. From behind the defense, play action fake fools no one. See Horton right side of the screen. That ball gets away, and boy, Allen is waiting on that thing. He and Rich Miano, 38, were fighting over that interception. Oh, again, the turnover, 4th of the day against the Raiders, and they have great field position once again.
From the 45. Herschel Walker gets away from Howie Long. Whoa, what an open field tackle by cornerback Terry McDaniel.
Oh,
180 pounds, and he attacked Walker.
Coaches encourage players on blocking and tackling to go to and through the man. Well, Terry McDaniel certainly got that message on this particular tackle. Watch him go by Herschel Walker to knock his legs out from underneath him.
No gain. McDaniel, much like Eric Allen of the Eagles, so good you don't hear much about him because teams operate away from his side of the field. This time goes into McDaniel's territory, and it's Fred Barnett with a catch and close to a first down. 3rd and 1.
Dick, again, the Los Angeles Raiders staying with the double rotation zone. McDaniel up. You got the safety right behind him. You'll see him come into the play. Eddie Anderson. They're doubling the outside, and that's the absence of Keith Jackson. No threat down the middle. I mean, you're not going to pay the same attention to Maurice Johnson and Pat Beach that you had to play to Keith Jackson. And these guys are getting double teamed on every snap down the field.
And that's frustrated them. Cunningham isn't the only one who's been upset. Barnett said, how can they let the best NFL tight end get out of here? Byers met by Winston Moss. I don't think he got the first down on 3rd and 1.
But again, the luxury for Rich Kotite with his defense, you can go for it here.
Leading by 2 touchdowns, 17-3. Kotite will go for it. He tried a fake field goal, remember, in the first half. That did not work, except that Andre Bruce of the Raiders committed a personal foul that gave the Eagles an extra 4 downs, and they eventually scored to take a 10-0 lead. Beach and Johnson, 2 tight ends in. 10 seconds on the play clock. Keith Sherman and Herschel Walker behind McMahon. Sherman, second effort, might have, is going to be close.
Very close.
Oh, you could hear that collision all the way to the press level.
It's unusual, I think, too, that the Philadelphia Eagles on short yardage plays, they've run the same play twice. Heath Sherman carries it. Herschel Walker lead block to the right side of the offense. Boy, this is going to be very close.
Only Sherman's second effort gave the Eagles this hope. He had been stopped right at the 35-yard line and then was able to twist away and gain that half yard. Is it enough for the first down? Yes.
Eagles certainly making it tough on themselves. I mean, none of this is coming easy, Dick, offensively for them.
And maybe this supports Randall Cunningham's argument that he wants to go back to the offense of 2 years ago.
Absolutely. He was telling us, look, when I ran, I had to run because I think I can run. McMahon is not known as a runner, but Randall made up for a lot of the inconsistencies in the offense with his athletic ability, running the ball.
McMahon, intercepted, and then dropped by Aaron Wallace. Had it for a moment, and then it trickled out of his hands. He was in perfect position. Well, Cunningham, you talk about running, and of course McMahon in his early days with the Bears was a good runner, but Cunningham's the 3rd leading rusher in Eagle history.
Isn't that amazing? Had it almost 1,000 yards rushing 2 years ago. Wallace said, oh, wait a minute, what's that? That ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage. Looked by Willie Broughton got his hand up there. And Wallace might have had that one going the other way.
Broughton signed as a free agent, number 97, in front of Wallace, playing a lot today. Myers cutting back. Juggling the ball as Howie Long makes the tackle.
And Broughton blew the play up. He made Keith Byers cut back into Howie Long, so it's an easy tackle. Long will go across the line, along the line of scrimmage here. Now Broughton pushes him back inside. There's 97. Easy tackle for Howie Long. Man, this has been a struggle offensively for the Eagles.
Well done, John Gonzalez, our director. John Faratzis, our producer, right on and play in a close-up fashion to appreciate that pinball game those 275 to 300 pounders play in the middle of that defense. 3rd down and 9. McMahon caught by Greg Townsend. Well, he got a taste of his first sack of the season in the first half. That's number 2.
Oh, this is awful easy for Townsend. He's on Anton Davis, the offensive right tackle. Townsend with great speed. He gets that great first step, and he is up the field in a hurry and right in McMahon's face before he can even set up to look downfield. You see, McMahon just barely got his feet set there. Townsend right there again. Great field position. Nothing out of the Eagle offense.
So Eric Allen's interception does not produce points, and Fiegels hits this one perhaps too good. And the Raiders will take it at the 20-yard line with it a timeout. 9:39 left in the third quarter.
To you by Hertz #1 Club Gold. Hertz's fastest service now in more locations coast to coast. By Pepto-Bismol. The one that coats is the only one you need. By Starter. Look for the stars and you'll find Starter. And by Mitsubishi, bringing you a full line of award-winning automobiles. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around.
Greg Townsend, last couple of years, says he shaves his head 2 times a week. It takes some working to keep that dome sweaty and polished. He's got 2 sacks today, and that last sack was key. It took the Eagles out of a possible 50-yard field goal and forced the punt, and on the touchback, Los Angeles will put it in play at the 20-yard line, trailing 17-3. Raider possessions, 8, and 4 of them have ended with interceptions.
Goodness. And they're still in the game if they get something going on this drive.
Against a very talented defense. Dickerson. A lot of work for 3 yards. Reggie White chased him down.
But that is a great advantage if you can get Eric Dickerson running sideways towards the sideline. We'll take 4 or 5 yards.
Check the other scores here on the midpoint of this NFL season. On 2nd and 6. Dropped by Ethan Horton. Tough catch, but it was there.
Well, again, pressure constantly by this Eagle defense on Jay Schrader. Watch when he sets up bottom of the screen. 59 Seth Joyner, again Eric Dickerson. Huge mismatch. It just flushes Schrader a little bit, makes him throw it a little quick. Pressure comes from everywhere on this Eagle defense.
And there's a testimony to the Eagles' pressure tactics. Schrader 2 for 6 passing. This is a 3rd and 6 play, and he goes deep downfield. No one there. Overshoots Tim Brown.
Well, they are insistent on that pattern. The matchup they're looking for, again, Tim Brown on John Booty. And there's help by Rich Miano, 38, as there's decent pressure that time by the Eagles. Not a whole bunch, but another outstanding series by the Philadelphia defense. Boy, this is repetitive.
And remember, this is a defense without a starting cornerback of a year ago, Ben Smith, without Andre Waters, one of the renowned hitters in the NFL at safety, out with a broken leg. And a defense is playing with one of their better men, Seth Joyner, with a knee brace. And they lose Jerome Brown, a defensive tackle. Boy, Buddy Ryan really put together some defensive thoroughbreds. Sikahema, who saw his head snap back as he was belted, but gets to the 47, a 40-yard punt, 18 yards for Sikahema. As you look at Reggie White and company, the defense has been the Philadelphia story today.
Absolutely remarkable.
Well, you got to give credit to the Raider defense, too. It's not just all the offense not working.
I agree with you, but Richie Kotite and his offense, they've established nothing today offensively. 0.
So maybe it's more than a quarterback problem. McMahon. Wide open is Calvin Williams. An acrobatic catch and a punishing tackle at the 31-yard line from Terry McDaniel.
That was great concentration on the football. Slight play action holds Ricky Ellison, number 50. McMahon with a nice touch here. He knows he's going to get hit. First thing it hits is the back of his helmet. He jumps right up. It's the slot man running the corner underneath the zone coverage. Now that play has worked. Can you think of another play that has consistently worked for Philadelphia today?
No, your point's well taken. 4 catches, 49 yards for Williams. Inside, Sherman. That one catches the Raiders, and it's a touchdown. think I found one that worked for the Eagles.
Interesting call. They fake the pitch to the tailback, give it to the fullback. Nebraska runs that play.
30 yards for the score. Heath Sherman's first touchdown romp of the season. And he hooks it through. It's 24-3. Why did it work?
Well, Eagles obviously give the ball to 34. Watch the arms go out like he's handing it to 34. The defense overruns the play. 50, Ricky Ellison overruns the play. The cutback, the missed tackle by Eddie Anderson, and Heath Sherman goes 46 yards for the score.
Goes Greasy Neal. Alexander Wright, a speed burner. Out of bounds at the 34-yard line. William Frizzell reacquired by the Eagles, pushed him out.
Dick, from behind the offense, it's the tailback pitch, but watch what happens. Excellent blocking here. They get a double and rub on Ellison, and when the running back cuts back here, I mean, he's totally behind the defense. Watch 50. Ricky Ellison overruns Heath Sherman. Missed tackle by Eddie Anderson. You saw Gunther Cunningham on the sideline talking to Ellison, talking to Eddie Anderson. Boy, that's a beautiful play.
Now the Eagles had opened it up with a 24-3 lead, and Schrader under pressure throws through a crowd. Seth Joyner had a hand on it.
Tim Brown did not look in the mood for that one.
Second half of our doubleheader. Stay with us. The Steelers and the Bills with 6-2 marks square off at Rich Stadium. San Diego back in the fight, 4-4 against the Chiefs. Surprisingly, disappointingly for their fans, 4-4, and the Jets trying to feed off the win against Miami as they traveled a mile high against Denver. Denver, the leaders in the West. Schrader now 2 for 8 for only 30 yards, and he has this. He starts the scramble and then throws low and outside to Willie Gault.
Well, defenses can do a lot of things to you physically, and they show on the field. But what this defense does to you psychologically, I'm talking about the Eagles defense, just takes you out of the mood. I mean, the Raiders have had bad field position. They've given up the 4 turnovers. And Bud Carson on the sideline, I mean, this is a perfect game for the defense. He's finally getting some support from the offense. You mentioned earlier in the game that Carson thought these were the best coverage linebackers he'd ever coached until you brought up Jack Ham's name.
Well, he said as a group thing. And said, well, Ham, Lambert, Cole, or Russell were very good, but these 3 are the best I've ever coached. Underneath the right, breaks a tackle and has a first down out at the 49-yard line. Alexander Wright's first catch as a Raider. Make that his first today. He's got 2.
I believe he's the player. He's the player, if I'm not mistaken, when we talked to Al Davis earlier this season. What do I need another wide receiver for? And 2 weeks later, from the Dallas Cowboys, a former second-round draft choice. Oh, Alexander Wright shows up in a Raider uniform.
Finally being used today as that 3rd wide receiver. Has his first 2 catches in Los Angeles. So from the 49. Dickerson takes 1 step and then is devoured by Reggie White, with Seth Joyner picking up the scraps.
Say amen, brother. An ordained Baptist minister just shoving Reggie McElroy out of the way. Oops, no, you're not going here, son. This is as far as this particular journey goes. Actually, nice picture. Arm not big enough.
Everything's so understated in the city of brotherly love.
This guy is a man.
Second down, 13. Nice throw. And it's Ethan Horton, the tight end, close to the yardsticks. It'll be a yard shy of a first down on a 13-yard pickup. Eric Allen, the cover man for the Eagles. And here comes Marcus on 3rd down.
Now, that catch by Ethan Horton, I kind of thought coming into this game that Ethan Horton would be a busy guy. That's his first catch of the game. The reason I ask is against Dallas, The Cowboys threw the ball to Jay Novacek a lot in this underneath zone coverage of the Philadelphia Eagles, and they were successful. Horton just his first catch of the day. I'm rather surprised.
They could get a first down right now if they snap the ball. Eagles had 12 in on the field, but Schrader didn't notice it. That is Marcus Allen diving. He's got it at the 40-yard line. Allen, now 32 years of age, needs 3 more touchdowns to hit the 100 mark. Dickerson needs 5, and he'd be at 100 as well.
The amazing thing about Marcus Allen, in my estimation, is if you polled all the Raiders that have been around the Raiders since Marcus Allen got there, I think most would say that Marcus Allen is an Al Davis type player, and yet there is something amiss between the two. I do not, for the life of me, understand it.
Allen with 23-yard rushing. Dickerson hit back of the game with 28.
Oh, that's a buck.
Well, they call it an incomplete pass as Schrader threw it right out of his own hand into the ground, as Reggie will testify to the play. He was closest.
Well, they're going to call it an incomplete pass, but I don't know how you can't call this intentional grounding. You see the referee right there. Now, his idea is to protect the quarterback. He's not really watching the rest of the field, but Jay gets away with one there. I mean, his arm is going forward. No question about that. He didn't want that thing to get loose.
Now, there was no intent there. It wasn't like he threw it right down at the feet of White. No, Schrader, although he's been intercepted once to Marinovich's 3, his number is not very impressive. To Dickerson, barely had time to catch that before William Thomas said hello. That'll bring up 3rd and about 5.
Every play we see the Raiders run, for the most part, when the ball gets to the receiver, there's at least one Philadelphia Eagle there, sometimes 2, and very often 3.
There's White, and number 59, Seth Joyner. Buddy Ryan will be pleased to know that Seth Joyner still talks about Ryan. He says, this isn't a nice guy game. You're supposed to hit him and walk over him, not help him up. He says, we've got to be more intimidating. Wright has his 3rd catch, but it'll be shy of a first down as Izell Jenkins, an extra defensive back, makes the stop. Whoa, good spot at the 31, but it'll leave the Raiders 1 yard shy of a first down. Brings up 4th.
I don't think Arch Hill has any choice in this situation. He's talking with Terry Robisky there on the sideline. Looks like an extra tight end. Do we see Marcus Allen again?
In comes David Jones, who is kind of a half and half, a tight end, wide receiver type. And Marcus. And time running out on Schrader. Allen, who else? And it'll depend on the spot. It looked as if he made it to the 30. That would be a first down. But they're spotting it to show way short of the 30, and based on the linesman's left foot, I don't think Marcus made it.
Not even close.
And for Philadelphia, and Los Angeles knows how difficult it will be to rally, because the Raiders all season long have not scored more than 21 points. So things not looking well on the black and silver, or silver and gray, as some are calling the Raiders, who are the oldest team in the league. Herschel Walker for a couple up the middle. So from Philadelphia, let's go to NFL Live and this update.
Dick, not a happy day for Warren Moon at the Astrodome. He'll complete this pass to Ernest Givens, who is spun around like a rag doll by the newly acquired Everson Walls. The ball pops free. Stevan Moore picks it up with the convoy. 73 yards later, he's in the end zone, and Cleveland is up 17-0 in the 3rd in Houston.
Wow, that's a stunner. Thank you, Bob. Bill Belichick, does he know defense?
Probably up 28 hours last night figuring out what to do against the Houston Oilers.
The Giants gift to Cleveland. Second down, Heath Sherman, the touchdown maker. By the way, his 30-yard touchdown run, the longest of the year, longest run of the season for Philadelphia. Jim McMahon, of course, quarterback controversy is a game that the media loves to play. It's good fodder, but based on what I've seen, if I can throw a vote in, I don't see any reason why Rich Kotite wouldn't keep his promise, and Randall Cunningham will be the quarterback in Green Bay next year.
Absolutely. Next week's choice of the starting quarterback has nothing to do with the football team, Randall Cunningham, or Jim McMahon. It is the promise. Next week, Rich Kotite keeps a promise, tells the truth, puts his quarterback, Randall Cunningham, back in the lineup.
Walker struggles and has the first down at the 42-yard line. Now, that won't make Jim McMahon very happy.
Well, but one of the things that I'm sure you'll remember when we were talking to the Eagle players, we asked about Buddy Ryan, and they all said he was up front with us. He told us the truth. He never tried to trick us.
Even if we didn't like the truth.
Yeah. Well, Rich Kotite has the opportunity to tell the truth next week. I mean, coaches do have to kind of bend things, and Kotite thought overnight about whether or not Cunningham starts this week. Told him on Monday, you're not. And next week, he just simply keeps a promise to Randall Cunningham.
He said his my man's in a slump. It's like a hitter. I'm not going to let you face these pitches. They'll give you a rest this series, and you start next week. First down, Walker. And the Eagles running with more enthusiasm now as we're down to the final minute of the third quarter.
Nice little counter run by the Philadelphia Eagles. If you want to continue talking about Randall Cunningham, McMahon told us normally Randall takes 100% of the snaps during the week. This week he took 50% of the snaps.
Even though McMahon was the starting quarterback, he didn't get all the reps.
And he says, I don't mind.
Old free spirit, much like Jim McMahon. Their personalities comparable. Will he be the quarterback next Sunday in the Coliseum when the Raiders host Seattle? Learning every week, he says. The Eagles and their defense have been at the head of the class at the vet today. Not a first down. It'll bring up third and less than a yard. Jim McMahon did the game for NBC. Let's see, it's 8 years ago now. Goodness. When McMahon and the Raiders, it's the most vicious hitting game I've ever seen. And that was where the quarterbacks of the Raiders were being carted off one after another. David Humm broke a jaw and a leg or something all in one play. McMahon seemed to be not as seriously injured and almost died. Had a ruptured kidney. He said he didn't know how bad it was. They tried to remove his kidney, and he argued with the doctor that wouldn't let him do it.
Talked him out of it. 5 lacerations of his kidney. I mean, the body cavity was filling up with blood, and this guy he went back into the game, which is unbelievable.
Well, he's in many ways he is an unbelievable type. For whatever reason, a timeout called by the Eagles. For so many years, their all-time rusher, Marcus Allen.
He would be a perfect acquisition next year for the Philadelphia Eagles. A great compliment to Randall Cunningham.
How about the 49ers?
Them too. A lot of teams would be interested in using Marcus Allen a lot more than the Raiders do.
There was a rumor San Francisco wanted Allen. This is a 3rd and 1, and Herschel Walker pulling his way easily for the first down to the Los Angeles Raider 44-yard line, and the clock will run. 14 minutes to go in a day which the Eagles have survived their star quarterback, Randall Cunningham, having a week off. He makes approximately $125,000 a game, and so he'll just go to the bank with a smile and say, hey, got a feeling that next week everything will all be patched up, except that McMahon might stir the pot a little.
He wouldn't.
If I were a writer, I'd go to McMahon about Wednesday. I bet I'd get a story.
Well, he would do that? Well, he might be on the sideline next week with a headband that says Randall on the front of it. You never know.
That's Mr. Howie Long saying I can play a little D myself.
Yeah. You know, Dick, you mentioned Howie Long has played an excellent game. I mean, a lot of things have not worked well for the Los Angeles Raiders, but Long has played possessed. Makes the tackle on Herschel Walker. You mentioned Randall Cunningham. When we came in here, we thought the world had stopped for Randall Cunningham. But the first time we walked into the locker room, he was playing video football against Herschel Walker, enjoying himself in his own surroundings. We asked how to go on the video football game. He says, I won. First good thing he's happened this week.
second down. Out of the backfield to Sherman. Another good move by Sherman, who has an excellent touchdown run and makes something out of very little. It'll be third down and about 3.
We've seen a lot of Heath Sherman. The only comment I can make for the absence of Keith Byers, maybe that broken hand that he's wearing, that he's had to deal with.
His right hand,
yeah, has a cast outside of a little glove, may be bothering him. Normally, this guy on offense does not leave the field.
He is left-handed, so he's able to play, and it doesn't hamper him as much as if he were a right-handed player. But this might be Kotite with a lead, giving an important player a rest.
Right. Yep.
On third down, Walker. And it was Nolan Harrison, but the tackle made by Aaron Wallace as the play misfires, and the Eagles will have to punt it to Los Angeles.
I don't understand what's keeping these people here in the stands. Maybe on the sunny side they're very nice and warm. I'm not sure. I guess they're here to see the Eagles go 5-0 at home in 1992.
There are some places where people pay a healthy price to go see an NFL game and leave in the third period, but these are fans in Philadelphia.
Hardy fans. You're talking about West Coast people who leave.
I didn't say where. You said. I've got to go back to the West Coast. Leave me alone. Tim Brown at the, I never leave early, 13-yard line, and they sit and smile in Philly.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Coors Cutter Non-Alcoholic Brew, by the Business Services Division of MCI, by Holiday Inn. Stay with someone you know. Call 1-800-HOLIDAY or your travel agent for reservations. And by Acura Automobiles. Experience precision-crafted performance.
Face of Philadelphia. Fans. Now those are the real fans. Oh. Even the Raider fans down by 3 touchdowns from this area stay to the end. 11 minutes to go, and Schrader goes long for Wright. Almost number 5, John Booty. Boy, did you see Wright, though, on about the last 15 yards, just pull away. Did he shoot into the open? Booty had him covered, played him 5 yards ahead until now.
And you can certainly tell the respect. Scouting reports are given to players, and Booty knows how fast Alexander Wright was. The minute the ball was snapped, he was backing up hard. Not going to get by me.
Well, they like that stretch.
Goodness.
Long pass, and Schrader, look at that, only 73 yards total passing offense for the Raiders today. Schrader, not close. Ethan Horton was open, but Schrader was moving away from pressure.
Bud Carson, the defensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles, kind of called off the dogs here on his defense, and the Raiders still can't make a completion.